पुमज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಹೇಳಿ ಜೋರಾಗಿ, ಹರೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ 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 ಹರೇ ಹರೆ, ಹರೇ ರಾಮ 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 ಹರೇ ಹರೆ, ಹರೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ 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 ಹರೇ ಹರೆ, ಹರೇ ರಾಮ 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 ಹರೇ ಹರೆ. So continuing with the instructions of Lord Kapila to his mother Devahuti, now the Lord starts speaking about his transcendental form, varieties of forms, in different incarnations, different activities, different qualities the Lord exhibits. Now, devotees, what do? Their darshaniya avayavaya. Devotees, darshaniya, looking at the forms of the Lord, and in detail, avayava means different limbs of the Lord. His lotus face, his hands, his lotus feet, and different things related to the deity of the Lord. Udara vilasa. Vilasa means activities, pastimes of the Lord. Udara vilasa. Udara means exalted pastimes of the Lord, hearing about them. Then hasa ikshita. Hasa means smiling. Ikshita, glances. Smiling glances. And then Vama. Vama means pleasing. Suktai, whose delightful words. Hearing the very delightful, pleasing words of the Supreme Lord. Then Hasa, Ikshita, Vama Suktai. So by all of these things, looking at the form of the Lord, hearing his pastimes, looking at the smiling face of the Lord, and then hearing his instructions, what will happen to those devotees? Hrita Atmano, their minds are captivated. Hrita Prana, their senses, here prana referring to senses, their senses becomes captivated. Hritatmano, hrita pranansh, cha bhaktir anichchato me. Anichchataha, even though they do not desire, maybe desire to go back to Godhead or whatever, gatim me anvim prayunkte. Gatim me, my supreme abode, they will achieve. How? Anvim. Anvim means subtle. A person is walking from here and goes till there. So grossly visible. The person is moving and he'll reach the door and he'll go outside. But Anvim means subtle. We cannot make out properly. Subtly it is happening. Anvim prayunkte. Such a devotee who is involved in all of these things and whose mind and senses are captivated by the Lord's beauty, his glances, his pastimes, all of these things, subtly or imperceptibly, he secures a position in the Supreme Lord's abode. I'll read the translation once again. Upon seeing the charming forms of the Lord, smiling and attractive, and hearing his very pleasing words, the pure devotee almost loses all other consciousness. His senses are freed from all other engagements, and he becomes absorbed in devotional service. Thus, in spite of his unwillingness, he attains liberation without separate endeavor. Again I repeat, thus, in spite of his unwillingness, he attains liberation without separate endeavor. So let us look at this. Lot of points Srila Prabhupada makes in the purport. One striking point which we can see here, Srila Prabhupada makes the same point 3 times repeatedly. He conveys that. He says it. There are 3 paragraphs in this purport. In each of these paragraphs, Srila Prabhupada speaks about this word imperceptibly. We would have noticed, imperceptibly. The dictionary word of this word, imperceptible, it means so slight or gradual or subtle as not to be perceived, or it is unnoticeable and undetectable. So these are all the meanings of the word imperceptible. Just like, let us understand through some examples. In some hills we can find some rocks are there, huge boulders are there, and many a places there will be some small rivulets coming down, and in certain places continuously the water keeps dripping continuously. Maybe throughout the year, or at least in the rainy season, water keeps dripping continuously, maybe for months and years together. What will happen? We would have noticed there will be an impression created there. The path of the water, it makes way. Some corrosion would have happened there. So this is what we say, like imperceptibly, continuously, slowly, even on hard rocks, some impression is created. Another example let me give you. Small children, so maybe babies you would have seen. Parents, they take care of their children, they feed them with nice food, and they take care of them. Maybe some relatives far off, they're staying somewhere far off. After many years they come back, and then usually they'll tell, really, you have grown so much, ishtu dordaaki bedabittidiyya, they'll comment. For the parents, daily they are seeing their child. He is growing, but it is imperceptible. They cannot make out so easily. But some people, after many days, many years, they come and see the same child. Oh, they can make out the difference. Last time, maybe 3 years back when I came, he was this much. Oh, now he has grown this much. Visibly, it is they see and they comment. But for the parents, slowly, little by little, daily he is growing. Practically, they cannot make out. They look at him in the same way, imperceptible. Likewise, another example, let me tell you. Maybe in earlier sessions also I have told this. A small child coming from a poor background, their parents unable to take care of him, feed him properly. So they think they have many children, father and mother. They are very poor. So they thought, let us give this one youngest child, one boy, to the martial arts school. Anyhow, they won't charge us anything. They'll teach him martial arts, whatever, and they'll take care of him, at least nice food they'll give. So let us go and give him there. Because if he is with us, we can't feed him properly, we can't take care of him. So forcibly they took the child and went and spoke to those people there. So those people, okay, leave him, we'll take care of him. They agreed. So this child also, what to do, parents have left him there. So they gave him a task. Daily you should carry some big drum or some container of water, fill it here, and 3-floor building. You should lift it there, step by step. And on top of the building, on the terrace, there's a big platform. Lift it and keep it up there. And then you should sprinkle the water. So this is your task. So every day, morning and evening, you should do this. So this boy, maybe first day, second day, enthusiastically he did. Small boy, but a big container of water he had to carry step by step, first floor, second floor, third floor, very difficult. After a few days he started getting back pain and a body pain, everything. In spite of that, nobody is caring. He's thinking, okay, they'll teach me some arts, and they'll teach me some martial arts, like a breaking of bricks, all those things, whatever. But nothing is happening there. So it went on for days and months together, and this boy was frustrated. What are they doing with me? Simply carry the water there and pour it there, sprinkle it there. Nothing is happening, they are not teaching me anything. But what to do, parents have sent me here, I can't leave and go. In spite of whatever frustration, he just continued to be there. And after many months, maybe a year later, their parents came. So the authorities there, they told him, okay, few days, 1 week, you can take him home and bring him back. So they took him home, and when they took him home, they very eagerly they asked him, what did you learn? What did they teach you there? Now have you learned how to break the bricks? All those things. No, they did not teach me anything. No, something they would have taught. Already so many months, 1 year passed, something you would have learned. No, they did not teach me anything. They couldn't believe, again repeatedly. He became very angry. And no, they did not teach me. I told you. I did not learn anything. He hit his hand maybe on some wooden stool or something. Immediately broke apart. Then he could realize, how strong my hand has become now. Because of all of whatever, 1 year of lifting that big container, all his muscles, slowly it has developed and he has become very strong. All these things, imperceptibly it happens. In devotee scales also we see, usually at least when I sometimes hear some devotees speaking, it may be like preaching to someone, distribution of passes or book distribution. If I notice, earlier I was thinking this person doesn't speak at all, so nicely speaking, quoting big shlokas and all. So quickly they'll pick up. Devotees themselves we can realize, so many shlokas we may quote now, big philosophies we speak, and any opponent party, go and defeat them, argument, all these things. Where did all these things come from? Few years back, none of these things we knew. But slowly, because of reading, daily hearing classes, all of these things, somehow it is like they pick it up. So now, I'll read the 3 sentences in which, in each of these paragraphs, Prabhupada uses this word imperceptibly liberated. Devotees, they become imperceptibly liberated. They need not endeavor separately for this. I'll read it again. The first paragraph. Simply by fixing oneself in Krishna consciousness, engaging the senses in the service of the Lord, one is imperceptibly liberated. So here Prabhupada says, engaging the senses in the service of the Lord, fixing oneself in Krishna consciousness. A devotee is imperceptibly liberated. The second paragraph. Even the third class devotee who is not advanced in knowledge of the absolute truth, but simply offers obeisances with great devotion, thinks of the Lord, sees the Lord in the temple and brings forth flowers and fruits to offer to the deity, becomes imperceptibly liberated. See, just with devotion, come and offer obeisances to the Lord, take darshan of the Lord, if possible bring some fruits and flowers and offer to the Lord. Just by these things, he becomes, even though he is a third class devotee, he becomes imperceptibly liberated. In the last paragraph, again, this is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita and here in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that third class devotees can also imperceptibly achieve liberation, is accepted in all Vedic literatures. So Prabhupada is saying in Bhagavad Gita, here in Bhagavatam, in all other Vedic literatures also it is stated that even a third class devotee, by performance of these activities, he becomes, or he can also achieve, third class devotees can also imperceptibly achieve liberation. So let us try to understand more about this. As it is said here, even a third class devotee can achieve this. So, at least in Nectar of Devotion we understand there is first class devotee, second class devotee, third class devotee. So who is a first class devotee? A Mahabhagavata, a pure devotee of the Lord, completely purified and having complete knowledge of all the Shastras, and any opposing element comes, he is able to, with arguments, with quotation, he is able to refute any opposing comments against Vedic literatures. He is fixed up in devotional service. All of these qualities we read of a first class devotee. Now about second class devotee, primarily it is said how Ishwareshu tadadineshu balisheshu dvishatsu cha prema maitri kripa upeksha samadhyamaha. Looking at the Supreme Lord, prema, loving devotional service he performs towards the Supreme Lord, and towards devotees, maitri, he develops friendship, friendly relation with other devotees, and towards innocent people, kripa, he shows compassion, mercy towards them by preaching to them, and upeksha, for what category? Dvesha, dvishatsu, who are envious people, he is away from them. So this is a madhyama, second class devotee. And third class devotee, komala shraddha, very tender faith. He is not very fixed up. He has some faith on the Supreme Lord. He worships the Lord in the temple. But if at all some other people, or he is allured by others, there are chances that he may fall from his position. He may go away also. So he is a third class devotee. Komala Shraddha. He doesn't know much properly how to give proper respect to devotees. All of these are the different things described about a third class devotee. So now, here, considering in this verse how even a third class devotee, his position is not negligible. A third class devotee, just like even a newly joined bhakta in the temple, some serious congregation devotees or folk devotees, whatever they may be, they are also far greater or above than so-called big scholars, jnanis, whom we find in the outside world, big yogis in the outside world. Even a neophyte devotee is far above all of those people, yogis or jnanis and big scholars and scientists and whatever, people whom we see in the outside world, reputed people. Why? Why? Because Krishna values them. In the eyes of Krishna, even a neophyte devotee, little service they have offered to Krishna, Krishna doesn't forget it. It goes to their permanent account, and Krishna helps them. One step a devotee has taken towards Krishna, Krishna comes 10 steps towards them to take them back. So they have become noticed by Krishna. Usually, like say devotees, we find we take the other devotees for granted because of especially familiarity. But we should be very careful. Like Prabhupada says in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, all it is, Krishna says this, just like some 3 verses I could recollect from the Bhagavad Gita, wherein Krishna speaks about, say, third class devotees, about pure devotees, Mahatmanastu Mam Partha, Daivim Prakriti Mashrita, all those things are there. But Krishna even speaks about third class devotees. In the second chapter, through this shloka we can understand, Neha Vikrama Nashosti Pratyavayo na vidyate Swalpamapi asya dharmasya Trayate Mahato Bhayat. A person, little progress he has made in this endeavor, there is no loss, there is no diminution. Even little progress if he has made. Trayate Mahato Bhayat. Little progress he has made, and he will be relieved from greatest dangers in this material world. This is the position of a devotee, a third class devotee. And then in the 6th chapter again Krishna says, Partha naiveha naamutra vinashastasya vidyate nahi kalyana krit kaschit durgatil natagacchati. O Partha, O Arjuna, he's speaking about, Arjuna's question was about a yogi who is fallen. He practices yoga for some time and then he falls from his position. What will be his end? So Krishna says, Na iha na amutra. Neither here nor there vinashastasya vidyate. He'll never be vanquished. Nahi kalyana krit kaschit durgatim tatagacchati. Kalyana krit. A person, a devotee who has offered, like say some devotional service, this auspicious activity, durgatim nagacchati. He'll never get durgati. Krishna confirms this again. And yet again 9th chapter, very emphatically he says, Apichet suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhag sadhureva samantavyah. And kshipram bhavati dharmatma. Even though externally he may appear as a durachari, committing a lot of sinful activities, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered as a sadhu. Quickly he will elevate from that position. So likewise, Krishna confirms this. So even a third class devotee is not neglected, is not to be underestimated. is not supposed to be disrespected. So in all of these cases we see how Krishna is not speaking of first class devotees, neither second class devotees. He is speaking about third class and even less than that. Krishna has got this high regard for the devotees, even though they may be in neophyte stage. Again in Bhagavatam also, to that verse, Kirata Hunandra Pulinda Pulkasha Shuddhyanti Tasmai Prabhavishnave Namaha. If at all, coming from whatever low background, somehow they have associated with devotees, rendered some service to pure devotees, they become purified. Quickly they will elevate. So therefore, we should show proper respect to all devotees, including third class devotees. The first offense we read, we chant daily. First offense is to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their life for propagating the holy name of the Lord. So it's not telling to blaspheme pure devotees. No. Any devotee who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord, they may not be first class devotees. They are still sadhakas, second or third class devotees, but they have dedicated their life for the service of the Lord. Still, they are not supposed to be blasphemed. Likewise, we can recollect from Nectar of Instruction, Krishneti yasya giritam manasadriyetam. A person has just chanted the holy name of Krishna. Krishna yasya giri. Giri means words. Who has spoken about or chanted the holy names of the Lord. For him, how are we supposed to offer respect? Manasa adriyeta. In our mind, we should show respect to such devotees. We have to show respect. This is the etiquette. And especially if they are initiated, Dikshasti chet pranatibhishta bhajantanisham. Those who have taken initiation from on bona fide spiritual master and they are engaged in the detailed service of the Lord, for them we are supposed to offer our obeisances. So this is what is expected out of us. And here we can recollect the story of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, wherein one of his devotees, a brahmachari devotee, was sent for preaching in Bangladesh, and somehow that devotee, he got associated with a woman, and this was noticed by the temple authorities there, and some senior devotees, they called him and scolded him and they just threw him out of the temple. And that person went away, and after many days, once Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur went to that center there, and he inquired about that devotee. Where is the devotee? He is not seen. So they explained to him how the devotee got entangled with a woman, so he was thrown away. So immediately he became angry. How? Why did you send him away? Such nice services he has rendered. Because of whatever, some mistake, some fault or whatever, he shouldn't be treated like this. So you go and get him back. So they were sent, and that devotee was somewhere working in some watch factory, and as soon as he heard that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is calling him, immediately he came back and told that actually I did not like to be there working somewhere, actually I wanted to come back. Now you have called me, and he became very happy and continued his devotional service. So like this we see how, so this is the position of even a third class devotees. We should never underestimate, we should not disrespect or blaspheme, we should never do. Their position is also exalted, far beyond the jnanis, so-called jnanis, yogis and big scholars of the material world. So this is the perspective what we are supposed to have. Just few more minutes I'll take. Another important point which Srila Prabhupada mentions, Shraddhayanvitah. With great devotion, the devotees offer worshipful respects and paraphernalia to the deity. The deities of Radha and Krishna, Lakshmi and Narayana, and Rama and Sita are very attractive to devotees. So much so that when they see the statue decorated in the temple of the Lord, they become fully absorbed in thought of the Lord. That is the state of liberation. In other words, it is confirmed herewith that even a third-class devotee is in the transcendental position above those who are trying for liberation by speculation or by other methods. So Prabhupada confirms this. So, if at all, so what is required here to come to the transcendental position? Main thing Prabhupada says here is of faith. Faithfully they are engaged. Shraddhayan Vita. In this verse also it is told. Shraddhayan Vita. Bhagavad Gita 12th chapter, last verse Krishna says, Yetu dharmyamrutamidam yathoktam paryupasate Shraddhadhana matparama bhaktaste ativa me priya. Such a devotee is very, very dear to me. What kind of a devotee? Shraddhaya paraya upeta. Those devotees who have got transcendental faith on the Supreme Lord. Yes, Krishna will give me protection. He is my master. He is the omnipotent Lord. So if I can serve Him, then everything is done. I don't require to do anything else. This Shraddha and then Shraddhaya Parayopetas, not that one, Shraddhaya Matparama, considering Krishna as his goal of life. Having full faith in Krishna and making Krishna the goal of one's life. If we just make this, keep these intact and go ahead performing our devotional service, some ups and downs will be there, some fall down may be there, some deviation may be there. Again, try to get back. Keep faith. Keep the goal as Krishna. Then today or tomorrow, sooner or later, imperceptibly we will be making advancement and we become eligible to go back to Godhead. So with this we'll conclude. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.